Welcome to Chinese History and Mythology.
Hey friends, welcome back to Chinese History and Mythology, and welcome to May. After exploring the history and mythology of the Qin Dynasty, Western Qichu, and the Han Dynasty, we're now stepping into a brand new era starting this month, the Three Kingdoms period, from 220 to 280 AD. After the middle period of the Eastern Han Dynasty, political power kept shifting between the emperor's relatives and court eunuchs. The government became more and more corrupt. Powerful families seized more land, ordinary people suffered, and life became increasingly difficult. In 184 AD, Zhang Zhao led the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Although the rebellion was eventually crushed, it severely weakened the foundation of the Eastern Han government. Regional warlords used the chaos to build their own armies, and the authority of the central government existed in name only. Then, in 189 AD, Dongzhu marched his army into Luoyang. He removed the young emperor, placed Emperor Xian on the throne, and ruled with cruelty and absolute power. His actions triggered a military alliance of regional warlords who united to fight against him, and from that point on, the Eastern Han government was essentially falling apart. After that, China entered an era of competing warlords. In Yizhou AD, Cao Cao brought Emperor Xian to Suchang and used the emperor's authority to control other warlords while gradually unifying northern China. In 200 AD, during the famous Battle of Guandu, Cao Cao defeated Yuan Shao despite being heavily outnumbered, which laid the foundation for his future dominance. Then came one of the most famous battles in Chinese history. In 208 AD, during the Battle of Red Cliffs, Sun Quan and Liu Bei formed an alliance and defeated Cao Cao's massive army. This stopped Cao Cao from conquering the south and created a balance of power between three major forces, Wei, Shu, and Wu. After that, Liu Bei captured Yi Province and Hanzhong. Sun Quan strengthened his rule in Jiangdong. Cao Cao secured his control over northern China. Finally, in 220 AD, Cao Pai ended the Han Dynasty and declared himself emperor, founding the state of Wei. The following year, Liu Bei declared himself emperor in Chengdu and established the state of Han, which historians later called Shu Han. And in 229 AD, Sun Quan officially declared himself emperor and founded the state of Wu. At that point, the famous three-way division of China was officially formed. This dramatic period of history was filled with real political strategies, military ambition, loyalty, betrayal, and tragedy. And because of that, during the late Yuan dynasty and early Ming dynasty, novelist Luo Guanzhong used Chen Shou's historical text, Records of the Three Kingdoms, as his foundation. He combined official history with folk stories, oral traditions from the Song and Yuan periods, and his own artistic imagination to create China's first full-length historical novel, written in chapter form, Romance of the Three Kingdoms. The novel follows real historical events, but it also gives its characters vivid personalities and dramatic storytelling. Throughout the story, it strongly reflects the idea of supporting Liu Bei over Cao Cao, while also repeating one powerful theme: long periods of division must eventually lead to unity. Long periods of unity must eventually lead to division. And now, we're about to step into this legendary story together and explore its unforgettable battles, political schemes, and larger-than-life heroes. Romance of the Three Kingdoms, along with Water Margin, Dream of the Red Chamber, and the famous Journey to the West, is widely recognized as one of China's 4 great classical novels. This title was not created by any official organization. Instead, it became a natural consensus over hundreds of years among readers and scholars. These 4 novels represent the highest achievements of 4 major storytelling traditions in Chinese literature: historical epics, heroic legends, supernatural fantasy, and family drama. They have deeply shaped Chinese values, morality, and even everyday conversations. It's similar to how people in England talk about Shakespeare, how Americans talk about Moby Dick, or how the French talk about Les Miserables. These 4 books are considered essential cultural classics that almost every Chinese student grows up knowing. The global journey of Romance of the Three Kingdoms began centuries ago. As early as 1689, during Japan's Edo period, the first foreign-language translation appeared under the title Popular Romance of the Three Kingdoms. In the West, the earliest English translation fragments can be traced back to 1820. Today, the novel has been translated into more than 60 languages, including both complete and shortened versions. If you're interested, you can definitely look them up. In 1925, British translator C.H. Brewitt Taylor completed the first full English translation, titled Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Later, the translation by American sinologist Moss Roberts was praised as a model of careful academic translation. Some Western scholars even said his version successfully captured the epic scale of the original story. The Encyclopedia Britannica, one of the world's most respected reference works, praised Luo Guanzhong as the first known master artist and described the novel as a work that offers broad criticism of society. Of course, not every international opinion has been entirely positive. Some early Western scholars viewed the novel through their own cultural lens and criticized its characters for being less psychologically complex, arguing that they sometimes felt more like moral symbols than fully developed individuals. That criticism reflects a difference between Chinese storytelling traditions and Western novels, which often focus more on personal growth and inner character development. Even today, some scholars of Chinese studies believe that existing translations and research still cannot fully capture the true spirit of the original novel. But honestly, these different opinions also give us a fascinating new way to understand this story across cultures. So what exactly makes Romance of the Three Kingdoms such a powerful historical novel that people in China are still reading with fascination thousands of years later? And why has it been translated into so many different languages? Romance of the Three Kingdoms, such a powerful historical novel that people in China are still reading with fascination thousands of years later, and why has it been translated into so many different languages? Romance of the Three Kingdoms, such a powerful historical novel that people in China are still reading with fascination thousands of years later, and eventually, the three major political and military powers of Wei, Shu, and Wu created a three-way balance that divided China. The military strategies, political decisions, talent recruitment, victories, and failures of these three powers all became major focuses of the novel. At the center of Luo Guanzhong's storytelling was a strong Confucian political and moral worldview. He artistically reshaped many historical figures from Wei, Shu, and Wu, making their personalities and behavior feel very clear and distinct. Through this approach, the novel strongly highlights its admiration for benevolent rule, wisdom, courage, and its well-known tendency to support Liu Bei while criticizing Casal. The author of Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Luo Guanzhong, is considered one of the great novelists in ancient Chinese literature. His most famous work is, of course, the epic Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and because of this achievement, he is often called the founding master of China's chapter-based novel tradition. He likely lived between 1330 and 1400, and his life spanned both the Yuan and Ming dynasties. It was a chaotic period in Chinese history, filled with war and instability. According to historical accounts, Luo Guanzhong was ambitious when he was young and hoped to enter politics to achieve his ideals. At one point, he worked as an advisor for Zhang Shicheng, a salt merchant rebel leader. But later, he became deeply disappointed with the political situation and chose to leave. That failed political dream changed the course of his life. Instead of continuing in politics, he poured all of his talent and energy into writing. He later studied under Xi Naiyan, who was also writing novels at the time. Xi Naiyan was the author of another famous classic, Water Margin. Under the guidance of this older writer, Luo Guanzhong began creating his own literary masterpiece. And it was this transformation from political ambition to creative ambition that made Romance of the Three Kingdoms possible. To write this massive work, he carefully studied historical records about the Three Kingdoms period. At the same time, he also drew inspiration from folk stories, traditional opera performances, and oral storytelling traditions that had been passed down for generations. Using a method often described as 70% history and 30% fiction, he combined the skeleton of real historical events with the imagination of great storytelling. The result was a historical novel with a massive structure, unforgettable characters, and dramatic twists and turns. And starting with today's episode, we're officially stepping into the very first of China's 4 great classical novels, Romance of the Three Kingdoms. The rise and fall of dynasties often follows the same pattern. When power reaches its peak, decline usually begins. By the time of Emperor Hun and Emperor Ling of the Eastern Han Dynasty, the emperors had become weak and incompetent, while eunuchs gained enormous political power. The imperial court was deeply corrupted. A group known as the 10 Eunuchs, led by Zhang Rang and Zhao Zhang, controlled the government. Emperor Ling was so dependent on Zhang Rang that he even called him father. The entire court was filled with corruption. Ordinary people suffered greatly, bandits rose everywhere, and the empire slowly began losing control. It was during this chaotic time that the three Zhang brothers appeared in Julu. Zhang Zhao was originally just an ordinary scholar. One day, while gathering herbs in the mountains, he encountered a mysterious old man. The old man gave him 3 books called Taiping Yao Shu, or The Essential Arts of Great Peace. Before leaving, the old man warned him, "If you use this knowledge to serve heaven and save people, you may rescue the world. But if evil grows in your heart, disaster will follow." Zhang Zhao studied the books carefully and learned how to heal people using magical water and written charms. He traveled from place to place, helping the sick, and began calling himself the great teacher of virtue. Very quickly, he gathered a huge number of followers. As his influence continued growing, Zhang Zhao told his 2 brothers, Zhang Bao and Zhang Liang, that the people were already on their side. He believed this was the perfect opportunity to seize power. So they secretly prepared for rebellion and created a famous slogan, "The blue heaven is dead, the yellow heaven shall rise. In the year of Jiazi, great fortune will bless the world." But their plan was suddenly exposed when one of their own followers, Tang Zhao, betrayed them and reported everything to the imperial court. Forced to act early, Zhang Zhao launched the rebellion ahead of schedule. He called himself the General of Heaven. Zhang Bao became the General of Earth. Zhang Liang became the General of Humanity. Within a very short time, hundreds of thousands of peasants wrapped yellow cloth around their heads and joined the uprising. The Yellow Turban Rebellion had officially begun. The imperial court was thrown into panic. He Jin quickly ordered 3 major generals, Lu Zi, Huang Fusong, and Zhu Zhu, to suppress the rebellion. At the same time, Liu Yan, the governor of Yu province, issued public notices to recruit volunteer soldiers. When one of these notices reached Zhou County, a young man stood in front of it and let out a deep sigh. Zhang Fei heard him and shouted, "If you're a real man, why stand here sighing instead of fighting for your country?" The young man replied, "I am Liu Bei, a descendant of the Han royal family. Now that the yellow turbans are destroying the country, I want to save the people and protect the empire. I only regret that I am too weak and have too little power." Zhang Fei admired his answer immediately. He told Liu Bei that he had wealth and resources and was willing to help raise an army. While the two were discussing their plans in a tavern, they met another man who had also come to join the army. His name was Guan Yu. Guan Yu explained that he had killed a local tyrant who oppressed ordinary people and had spent years living as a fugitive. When he heard the country was recruiting soldiers to stop the rebellion, he came immediately. After hearing Liu Bei's ambitions, Guan Yu agreed to join him. Seeing that all 3 men shared the same goal, Zhang Fei suggested they become sworn brothers in his peach garden. The next day, they burned incense and made a vow before heaven. Although they were not born on the same day, they promised they would die on the same day. They swore to work together, help people in need, serve the country, and bring peace to ordinary citizens. This became the famous story of the Oath of the Peach Garden, and Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei officially became brothers. This story later became one of the most famous moments in Chinese culture. Even today, some young people still reference this story. If they have an extremely close friend, they may jokingly say they want to become sworn brothers to show how deep their friendship is. After becoming brothers, the 3 men began recruiting soldiers, but they soon realized they lacked horses and weapons. At that moment, 2 merchants stepped forward and donated horses, gold, and materials for weapons. Liu Bei forged his twin swords, Guan Yu forged his famous green dragon crescent blade, Zhang Fei forged his serpent spear. With 500 local volunteers, they officially marched into war. Their very first battle was against the Yellow Turban General Cheng Yuanzi. On the battlefield, Zhang Fei charged first and killed enemy officer Deng Mao with a single strike of his spear. Cheng Yuanzi became furious and personally entered the battle, but Guan Yu rode forward and killed him with one swing of his blade. Once their commander died, the Yellow Turban army collapsed immediately. Liu Bei and his brothers won their first battle and became famous overnight. Not long after that, Qing province sent an urgent request for help after being surrounded by Yellow Turban forces. Liu Bei volunteered immediately. Facing an enemy force much larger than his own, he carefully studied the situation and decided to set a trap. He placed Guan Yu and Zhang Fei in hidden positions on both sides of a mountain valley. Liu Bei personally led the front line and pretended to retreat. The enemy took the bait and chased him directly into the trap. At that moment, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei attacked from both sides while Liu Bei turned around and launched a counterattack. The Yellow Turban army was crushed, and Qing province was saved. Liu Bei's reputation continued to grow. Later, Liu Bei heard that his former teacher, Lu Zi, was fighting Zhang Zhao on the front lines. He immediately led his army to support him, but before reaching the battlefield, he was shocked to see his teacher being escorted back to the capital as a prisoner. Liu Bei asked what happened. Lu Zi explained that he had been close to defeating Zhang Zhao, but because he refused to bribe a corrupt court official named Zhuo Feng, he was falsely accused and arrested. Zhang Fei was furious and wanted to kill the officers escorting Lu Zi and rescue him, but Liu Bei stopped him. They could only watch helplessly as his teacher was taken away. With nowhere else to go, the brothers prepared to return, but on the way, they unexpectedly discovered Yellow Turban forces attacking Dong Zhou. Without hesitation, the three brothers charged into battle and saved him. But after Dong Zhou was rescued, he first asked what official rank Liu Bei held. When he learned that the three brothers were nothing more than commoners, his attitude changed immediately. He treated them with complete disrespect and showed no gratitude at all. After leaving the camp, Zhang Fei was furious. "We risk our lives to save him, and this is how he treats us. I should kill him right now." He grabbed his weapon and tried to rush back inside. Liu Bei and Guan Yu quickly stopped him. And at that moment, they had no idea that this same Dong Zhu, the man they had just saved, and who looked down on them, would soon become one of the most dangerous figures in the collapse of the Han Dynasty. At this point, a few important characters need a more detailed introduction. This is also where foreign listeners may face one of the biggest challenges when listening to Chinese stories: remembering Chinese names. Romance of the Three Kingdoms includes 1,191 characters in total, including 436 military generals and 451 civil officials. When we talked about investiture of the gods before, some listeners mentioned that the names in Chinese novels can be hard to remember, which can make the story harder to follow. So before we continue the story, let's briefly introduce a few major characters. First, there is Liu Bei. Liu Bei is the representative figure of the Shu Han group, and he is also the symbol and model of a benevolent ruler in the author's mind. Liu Bei is one of the central heroes of this novel. He was born poor and made a living by selling straw sandals, but he claimed to be a descendant of the Han imperial family. His greatest quality is his kindness and his deep sense of loyalty. He always thinks about helping suffering people and restoring the declining Han Dynasty. He does not have Cao Cao's political skill or family background, but through his sincerity and reputation, he attracts two sworn brothers who are willing to live and die with him, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei. Later, he also gains the support of the brilliant strategist Zhu Zhiliang. His story can be understood as the story of a good man from a humble background who slowly builds his own foundation in a chaotic age through virtue and perseverance. Next is Zhu Zhiliang. Zhu Zhiliang can be seen as the greatest mind in this novel. In fact, after generations of storytelling, his name became a symbol of wisdom. The image of Zhu Zhiliang in Romance of the Three Kingdoms is almost half human and half divine. He was originally a scholar living in seclusion in the mountains. He called himself Sleeping Dragon, which means a dragon that has not yet awakened. After Liu Bei heard about his talent, he personally visited him 3 times before finally persuading him to come out and help. Zhu Zhiliang is most famous for his almost supernatural ability to predict events. He can calculate the weather in advance and set up clever military formations. Classic stories such as Borrowing Arrows with Straw Boats and The Empty Fort Strategist are both examples of him turning defeat into victory through intelligence when everything seems hopeless. Later, he becomes Liu Bei's chancellor and takes charge of both military and political affairs. He spends the rest of his life working for the Shu Han government founded by Liu Bei, giving everything he has until he finally dies from exhaustion during the northern expeditions. For foreign listeners, you can think of him as an ancient Chinese Sherlock Holmes combined with Machiavelli. He has extraordinary reasoning and strategy, but also nearly perfect loyalty and responsibility. The next person is Cao Cao. Cao Cao is a representative figure of the Cao Wei group. The historical Emperor Wu of Wei had noble interests and was skilled in both literature and warfare. He was not simply someone obsessed with wealth and high status. In official history, the description of Cao Cao is relatively balanced and fair. Many famous modern historians believe that among all the heroes of ancient and modern times, few were as firm and straightforward as Emperor Wu of Wei. Cao Cao, he was a great politician, military strategist, and writer. In Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Cao Cao is one of the most complex and fascinating characters. He was born into an official family. When he was young, he was clever, decisive, and quick to act. A famous scholar of his time once described him as a capable minister in times of peace and a dangerous hero in times of chaos. In the novel, he has both great talent and ruthless ambition. He is brilliant and strategic, but also cruel and suspicious. Because he suspected others of trying to harm him, he spoke one of the most controversial lines in the novel: "I would rather betray the world than that the world betray me." He is very good at recruiting talented people. His camp is full of brilliant advisors and powerful generals. But at the same time, he is ruthless and kills many people he suspects. For Western readers, Cao Cao can be understood as a somewhat Macbeth-like warlord. He has the ability of a politician and military commander, but also an ambition and method that are not restrained by morality. Another important figure is Guan Yu, also known as Guan Yuncheng. There are countless famous generals in Chinese history, but among them, the only one who was later honored as an emperor, worshipped like a god, and given temples and shrines across the country is Guan Yuncheng. If you have seen some early Hong Kong action movies, the god statue that gang members often worship with incense is Guan Yuncheng. Guan Yu is one of the most respected warriors in Romance of the Three Kingdoms. He is tall and has a beautiful long beard, so people often call him the Lord with the Beautiful Beard. His weapon is a very heavy green dragon crescent blade. His horse is called Red Hare, and it runs extremely fast. Guan Yu is best known for his loyalty and righteousness. He becomes sworn brothers with Liu Bei and Zhang Fei, and follows Liu Bei for his entire life. No matter how many high positions or rich rewards others offer him, he refuses to betray Liu Bei. He is also an extremely powerful fighter. He kills enemy generals in the middle of huge armies, so in Chinese historical fiction, he can almost be seen as the highest level of battlefield strength. Later generations worship him as the martial saint. Many shops, homes, and even police stations keep statues of him and treat him as a guardian spirit. For Western readers, you can imagine him as the most loyal and brave version of Lancelot from the Knights of the Round Table. But Guan Yu's loyalty never betrays his lord. The last person we need to talk about is Dong Zhuo. Dong Zhuo is the most famous villain in the early part of Romance of the Three Kingdoms. He was originally a military general on the northwestern frontier. Because of his military achievements, he gradually gained control of an army. Later, when chaos broke out in the imperial court, he seized the chance to lead his troops into the capital and took control of the young emperor and the entire government. After Dong Zhuo came to power, he became extremely cruel and violent. He deposed and installed emperors at will, killed ministers, and allowed his soldiers to burn, kill, and loot inside the city. The people suffered terribly under him. His tyranny enraged the whole country, and many local officials formed an anti-Dong Zhuo alliance to fight him. There is a classic scene in the book. In order to move the capital and escape the allied forces, Dong Zhuo orders the old capital, Luoyang, to be burned into ruins. He also forces more than 1 million people to march a long distance, causing countless deaths along the way. In the end, he is killed by his adopted son, Lu Bu. This happens because Lu Bu has a private relationship with one of Dong Zhuo's maidservants, and because others design a plan to turn him against Dong Zhuo. Eventually, Lu Bu personally stabs Dong Zhuo to death. For foreign listeners, Dong Zhuo can be understood as a tyrant-like warlord. His greed and cruelty become the direct trigger for the collapse of order and the rise of heroes across the land. Alright, let's continue our story. Dong Zhuo was from Longxi, Lintao, and served as the governor of Hedong. He was known for being arrogant and overbearing. When Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei saved his life, he showed them no gratitude at all. After learning that the three brothers held no official rank, he treated them with complete disrespect. Zhang Fei was furious and wanted to kill Dong Zhuo on the spot. Liu Bei and Guan Yu quickly stopped him. They said, "He is still a government official. We cannot act recklessly." But Zhang Fei could not swallow his anger. Terrified, Zhang Bao tried to flee. Liu Bei chased him and shot an arrow into his left arm. Wounded, Zhang Bao escaped back to Yangcheng and locked himself inside, while Zhu Zhan was laying siege to Yangcheng. Scouts brought important news. Huang Fusong had already defeated Zhang Liang at Quyang. Zhang Jiao had died from illness. His body had been dug up and publicly displayed. Most of the remaining Yellow Turban rebels had surrendered. Huang Fusong was rewarded for his victory and also cleared Lu Zi's name. Tozo was rewarded as well and appointed governor of Jinan. After hearing this news, Zhu Zhan increased pressure on Yangcheng. The city's commander, Yan Zhang, realized everything was lost. He killed Zhang Bao and surrendered the city. Although the main Yellow Turban army had been defeated, remaining leaders, Xiao Hong, Han Zhang, and Sun Zhang, gathered tens of thousands of followers and seized Wangcheng. They declared that they would avenge Zhang Zhao. Zhu Zhan was ordered to continue the campaign. During the siege, Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei attacked the southwest corner of the city. Han Zhang moved troops there to defend it. At that exact moment, Zhu Zhan launched a major attack on the northeast side. The Yellow Turban forces could not defend both sides and suffered a major defeat. After Wangkeng was surrounded, food inside the city ran out. Han Zheng sent messengers asking to surrender. Zhu Jun refused. Liu Bei stepped forward and said, "If we completely surround them and leave no escape route, they will fight to the death. It would be better to open one side, force them to flee, and destroy them while they are in chaos." Zhu Jun accepted the plan. He withdrew troops from two sides and focused his attack elsewhere. Han Zheng abandoned the city and tried to escape, but Liu Bei and his brothers chased him down and killed him with arrows. Soon after, Shao Hong and Sun Zhang arrived with reinforcements and retook Wangkeng. Just as Zhu Jun prepared another attack, a new force arrived. It was led by Sun Jian. Sun Jian was from Fuchen in Wu Commandery and claimed descent from Sun Tzu. He had been famous for his bravery since he was young. After the Yellow Turban Rebellion began, he raised elite troops and joined the war. Zhu Jun was thrilled by his arrival. He ordered Sun Jian to attack the south gate. Liu Bei was ordered to attack the north gate. Zhu Jun personally attacked the west gate while intentionally leaving the east gate open so the enemy would flee. Sun Jian led from the front and became the first man to climb the city walls. He killed more than 20 enemy soldiers and captured Zhao Hong's horse. Then he charged through the city. Sun Jiang escaped through the north gate and ran directly into Liu Bei. Liu Bei shot him down with a single arrow. Zhu Jun launched a full pursuit and completely destroyed the remaining Yellow Turban forces. With that victory, the Nanyang region was finally pacified. After the war, Zhu Jun returned to the capital and received rewards. He also recommended Sun Jian and Liu Bei for recognition. Sun Jian was quickly promoted, but Liu Bei received nothing. He could only wait in the capital with Guan Yu and Zhang Fei. Later, Liu Bei met an official named Zhang Jun and explained his military achievements. Zhang Jun entered the palace and boldly told the emperor that the real cause of the Yellow Turban Rebellion was the corruption of the 10 eunuchs. He accused them of selling government positions and destroying the country. He urged the emperor to execute the eunuchs and reward the soldiers who had earned real military victories. But the 10 eunuchs turned the emperor against Zhang Jun instead. The emperor failed to see the truth and expelled Zhang Jun from court. The eunuchs realized that many unpaid military officers were becoming angry. To calm Liu Bei down, they temporarily gave him an official position. He was appointed magistrate of Anxai County. When Liu Bei arrived in Anxai County, he governed honestly and treated the people well. He never abused his power and quickly earned the love of the local people. He still lived closely with Guan Yu and Zhang Fei. They ate together, slept in the same quarters, and remained deeply loyal to each other. But not long after that, the imperial court issued an order to remove many local officials who had gained positions through military service. Liu Bei worried that he might be one of them. At that moment, an imperial inspector arrived in Anxai County. Liu Bei personally went outside the city to welcome him, but the inspector treated him with complete arrogance. When they arrived at the guest station, the inspector sat high above him and deliberately humiliated Liu Bei. Then he shouted, "You dare claim royal blood and exaggerate your military achievements. The court is trying to remove people exactly like you." Liu Bei could only swallow his anger and quietly step back. The local clerks in the county told Liu Bei that the inspector was simply trying to demand a bribe. Liu Bei sighed and said, "I have always served honestly. Where would I get money to bribe him?" The next day, the inspector forced county officials to give false testimony and tried to frame Liu Bei for corruption. Liu Bei attempted several times to meet him and defend himself, but each time he was blocked at the door. One day, Zhang Fei was passing by the inn after drinking wine when he saw many local people crying outside. After asking what happened, he learned that they had come to defend Liu Bei, but the guards had beaten them and driven them away. Zhang Fei exploded with rage. He stormed into the inn, grabbed the inspector by the hair, dragged him to the county office, tied him to a hitching post, and whipped him violently with willow branches. When Liu Bei heard the chaos, he rushed over. When he realized the man being beaten was the imperial inspector, he quickly stopped Zhang Fei. The inspector cried and begged for mercy. Guan Yu also arrived and said to Liu Bei, "Brother, you have earned many military victories, yet you were only given this tiny position, and now you are being humiliated by a corrupt official like this. This world is not worth staying in. We should abandon this office and seek a greater future." After hearing this, Liu Bei removed his official seal and ribbon and hung them around the inspector's neck. He said, "A corrupt man like you deserves death. Today I spare your life. As for this job, I quit." With that, the three brothers abandoned their positions and left. After escaping, the inspector reported Liu Bei for assaulting an imperial official. Provincial authorities sent people to arrest him. Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei fled to Daizhou and sought refuge with Liu Hui. After learning that Liu Bei was a distant member of the imperial family, Liu He hid the three brothers in his home. At this time, the power of the 10 eunuchs grew even stronger. Any official who refused to flatter them or offer bribes was falsely accused and removed from office. Even great heroes like Huang Fu Song and Zhu Zhan lost their positions because they refused to bribe them. The emperor even promoted Zhao Zhang to general of chariots and cavalry. Zhang Rang and 12 other eunuchs were also granted noble titles. The government became even more corrupt. As a result, the empire once again fell into chaos. A rebellion broke out in Changsha led by Wu Xing in Yuyang. Zhang Ju and Zhang Chun also launched an uprising. Reports from across the empire flooded into the capital, but the 10 eunuchs blocked them. An official named Liu Tao rushed into the palace and tearfully warned Emperor Ling, "The empire is on the verge of collapse, yet your majesty is still drinking and entertaining yourself with eunuchs." He directly accused the 10 eunuchs of selling government offices, taking bribes, and destroying the country. The eunuchs pretended to cry and offered to resign. Instead of punishing them, the emperor felt sympathy for them. He became furious and ordered Liu Tao's execution. Minister Chen Dan rushed in to defend Liu Tao and also condemned the eunuchs. The emperor ignored him as well and threw both men into prison. That very night, the 10 eunuchs secretly had both of them killed. Soon after, the court sent Sun Jingyan to suppress the Changsha rebellion. He defeated the rebels in less than 50 days and was rewarded with the title Marquis of Wuken. Meanwhile, the northern rebellion in Yuyang was assigned to Liu Yu, who was appointed governor of Yu province. Liu Hui wrote to Liu Yu and recommended Liu Bei. After meeting him, Liu Yu was deeply impressed and appointed Liu Bei as a military commander. Liu Bei led troops against the rebels. In the end, Zhang Chun was killed by his own men, and Zhang Ju committed suicide. The Yuyang rebellion was finally crushed. Liu Yu submitted a report praising Liu Bei's achievements. The court pardoned Liu Bei for beating the imperial inspector and appointed him assistant magistrate of Shami County. Later, he was promoted again to county commander of Gaotan. Then Gongsun Zan also recommended Liu Bei. As a result, Liu Bei was appointed as a separate military commander and acting magistrate of Pingyuan County. At last, he had troops and territory once again. In the 6th year of Zhongping, Emperor Ling became seriously ill. He summoned General-in-Chief He Jin to the palace to discuss the imperial succession. He Jin had originally come from a butcher's family, but after his sister became Empress He and gave birth to Liu Bian, he gained enormous power. However, Emperor Ling preferred Liu Zi, the son of consort Wang. Empress Dowager Dong also supported Liu Zi as the next emperor. The eunuch Jian Shao suggested that Emperor Ling first kill He Jin and then place Liu Zi on the throne. Before entering the palace, He Jin was secretly warned by Pan Yin, "Jian Shao plans to kill you, do not enter the palace." Terrified, He Jin returned home and gathered officials to discuss eliminating the eunuchs. Cao Cao warned him, "The eunuchs have deep roots. If you do not destroy them completely, they will become a future disaster." But He Jin underestimated Cao Cao and ignored his advice. Soon after, Emperor Ling died. Jian Shao and the 10 eunuchs tried to hide his death. They forged an imperial order summoning He Jin into the palace so they could kill him and place Liu Zi on the throne. Cao Cao gave advice once again. The most urgent matter is to establish the new emperor first, then eliminate the eunuchs. Yuan Shao also stepped forward and requested permission to lead troops into the palace, support Liu Bian, and destroy the eunuchs. He Jin agreed. He gathered court officials, entered the palace with soldiers, and placed Crown Prince Liu Bian on the throne. After Liu Bian became emperor, Yuan Shao was ordered to arrest Jian Shao. Jian Shao fled into the imperial garden but was killed by Guo Sheng. The imperial guards also submitted to He Jin. Yuan Shao urged He Jin to eliminate all the remaining eunuchs, but Zhang Rang and the others immediately went crying to Empress Dowager He. They claimed that only Jian Shao had plotted against He Jin and that they were innocent. Empress Dowager He, remembering old relationships, begged He Jin not to kill them all. He Jin softened. He decided to punish only Jian Shao and spare the others. Yuan Shao urgently warned him, "If you do not remove them completely now, they will destroy you later." He Jin still refused to listen. At the same time, Empress Dowager Dong began fighting back. Following Zhang Rang's advice, she gave Liu Zi the title Prince of Chen Li. She also placed her brother Dong Chong in military command and restored the power of the eunuchs. When Empress Dowager He saw this, she invited Empress Dowager Dong to a banquet and asked her to step away from politics. Instead, Empress Dowager Dong openly accused her of poisoning consort Wang and mocked He Jin's butcher family background. From that moment on, the two women became bitter enemies. Empress Dowager He told He Jin what happened. he became furious. He worked with court officials to accuse Empress Dowager Dong, forced her out of the palace, and surrounded Dong Chong's residence with soldiers. Dong Chong committed suicide. Empress Dowager Dong's faction collapsed. Seeing the situation turn against them, Zhang Rang and Duan Gui began bribing He Miao and He Jin's mother, Lady Wu Yang. They convinced them to speak on behalf of the eunuchs before Empress Dowager He. As a result, the 10 eunuchs regained favor once again. Not long after that, He Jin secretly poisoned Empress Dowager Dong. The palace struggle became even more violent. Yuan Shao warned He Jin again. Zhang Rang and the others are spreading rumors that you poisoned Empress Dowager Dong. If you do not kill them now, disaster is coming. He Jin hesitated once again. He only said that he needed more time to think. Servants overheard this conversation and secretly informed Zhang Rang. Zhang Rang immediately bribed He Miao and convinced him to persuade Empress Dowager He to stop He Jin. And once again, she refused to allow the eunuchs to be eliminated. He Jin was naturally indecisive, and once again he backed down. Seeing his hesitation, Yuan Shao proposed a dangerous new plan. He suggested summoning military forces from across the empire to pressure the Empress Dowager into agreeing to eliminate the eunuchs. He Jin thought the idea sounded reasonable and prepared to issue the order, but his secretary Chen Lin immediately objected. "General, you already control the military. If you truly want to eliminate the eunuchs, you can strike immediately. But if you invite outside armies into the capital, every warlord will have his own ambitions. You may lose control of the military entirely. Not only could this plan fail, it may bring an even greater disaster." He Jin laughed and called him cowardly. He refused to listen. As everyone continued arguing, Cao Cao suddenly clapped his hands and laughed. "This matter was simple from the beginning. Why are we wasting so much time debating it?" Cao Cao warned He Jin that the problem of eunuchs had existed throughout Chinese history. He said the real issue was that emperors should never have handed so much power to them in the first place. If you truly want to punish them now, simply arrest the main offenders. There is no need to summon outside armies. But if you try to wipe out every eunuch at once, the news will leak out, and the entire plan will fail. He Jin became furious after hearing this. He looked at Cao Cao and asked, "Are you protecting them because of your own selfish motives?" Cao Cao said nothing more. After leaving, many other officials also left the court. Meanwhile, Zhang Rang and the eunuchs learned that He Jin had summoned outside armies. They knew their lives were now in danger, so they decided to strike first. They secretly placed armed assassins near Jiide Gate in Changgol Palace. Then they entered the palace and cried before Empress Dowager He. They claimed that He Jin had secretly called in outside armies and planned to kill all of them. They begged the Empress Dowager to save their lives. She finally issued an order summoning He Jin into the palace. The moment He Jin received the order, Chen Lin, Yuan Shao, and Cao Cao tried to stop him. They warned him that it was clearly a trap. But He Jin laughed proudly. "I control the greatest military power in the empire. What can a few eunuchs possibly do to me?" He entered the palace alone. Yuan Shao, Cao Cao, and their soldiers escorted him to the gates, but they were stopped outside. The moment He Jin arrived at Jiide Gate, Zhang Rang and Duan Gui appeared. Hidden soldiers rushed out and surrounded him. Zhang Rang shouted at him, "You ungrateful traitor, you forgot who helped raise you to power. You even forced Empress Dowager Dong to her death." Then he gave the order. He Jin was hacked into pieces. Outside the palace, Yuan Shao waited for a long time and grew suspicious. Just as he was about to call out, Zhang Rang threw He Jin's severed head over the palace wall. He shouted, "He Jin committed treason and has been executed." Yuan Shao erupted in rage. "The eunuchs have murdered a loyal minister. Anyone who wants revenge, follow me." Yuan Shu, Yuan Shao, Cao Cao and their troops stormed into the palace. They killed every eunuch they saw. The palace was soon covered in flames. Zhao Zhang, Chen Kuang, and many others were cut down. In the chaos, many innocent people were also killed. During the confusion, Zhang Rang and Duan Gui kidnapped the young emperor and prince of Chenliu and fled toward Mount Bimang. Inside the palace, Lu Zi rescued Empress Dowager He. Meanwhile, Cao Cao worked to put out the fires. He asked Empress Dowager He to temporarily oversee the government and sent soldiers to search for the missing emperor. Late that night, Zhang Rang and Duan Gui were finally caught by Min Gang. Realizing everything was over, Zhang Rang threw himself into a river and died. Duan Gui was later captured and executed as well. The young emperor and prince of Chenliu became separated in the wilderness. They hid in the grass, starving and freezing. Prince of Chenliu urged the emperor to keep moving and search for help. Following the faint light of fireflies, the two boys eventually reached a farmer's home. The owner, Ku Yi, discovered them. When he learned that they were the emperor and prince of Chenliu, he immediately knelt before them. He welcomed them into his home and offered them food and wine. Soon afterward, Min Gang arrived and found them. He escorted the emperor and prince of Chenliu back to the capital. Along the way, they met Wang Yun, Yang Bao, Yuan Shao, and many other officials who had come to search for them. When the ministers saw that the emperor was alive, they broke down in tears. On the way back to Luoyang, the imperial carriage suddenly saw dust rising in the distance. A large army was coming straight toward them. Yuan Shao rode forward and shouted, asking who they were. One general rode out from the army and asked, "Where is the emperor?" The young emperor was so frightened that he could not speak, but the prince of Chenliu calmly stepped forward and asked, "Are you here to protect the emperor or to kidnap him?" The man answered, "I am Dong Zhuo, governor of Liang province. I have come to protect his majesty." The prince of Chenliu immediately said, "If you are here to protect him, then the emperor is right here. Why have you not dismounted?" Dong Zhuo was shocked. He quickly got off his horse and knelt. Seeing how calm the prince of Chenliu was in a crisis, and how much more impressive he seemed than the young emperor, Dong Zhuo began thinking about removing the young emperor and placing the prince of Chenliu on the throne. After they returned to Luoyang, the court discovered that the imperial jade seal had gone missing. Dong Zhuo stationed his army outside the city. Every day he entered Luoyang fully armed, acting without restraint. He even entered and left the imperial palace as if no rules applied to him. Bao Xin saw that Dong Zhuo had dangerous ambitions and urged Yuan Shao to get rid of him as soon as possible. But Yuan Shao believed the court had only just settled down and that it was not wise to act rashly. Bao Xin then went to Wang Yun to discuss the matter. Seeing that everyone was still hesitating, he led his troops away from Luoyang and went to Mount Tai. Dong Zhuo took the opportunity to absorb He Jin's former troops and gradually gained control of the military power in the capital. He said to Li Ru, "I want to depose the young emperor and make the prince of Chenliu the new emperor." Li Ru believed that with the court leaderless, this was the perfect time to act. He advised Dong Zhuo to gather all the officials and announce the change in public. If anyone objected, he should kill them immediately to establish authority. So Dong Zhuo held a banquet and invited all the court officials. After several rounds of drinking, he suddenly announced, "The current emperor is weak and incapable. He is not as intelligent and studious as the prince of Chenliu. I want to depose the young emperor and make the prince of Chenliu the new emperor. What do you all think?" The officials were terrified of Dong Zhuo and lowered their heads in silence. At that moment, Ding Yuan, governor of Bing province, suddenly slammed the table and stood up. He angrily rebuked Dong Zhuo as saying, "The emperor is the son of the late emperor and has done nothing wrong. What right do you have to depose him? Are you trying to rebel?" Dong Zhuo was furious and drew his sword to kill Ding Yuan. But Li Ru saw a fierce general standing behind Ding Yuan, holding a halberd and looking extremely powerful. He quickly advised Dong Zhuo to hold back for the moment. That man was Ding Yuan's adopted son, Liu Bu. Seeing how formidable Liu Bu was, Dong Zhuo had no choice but to step back for now. The next day, Ding Yuan led his army outside the city and challenged Dong Zhuo. As the two armies faced each other, Ding Yuan cursed Dong Zhuo for having no real merit yet daring to interfere with the throne. Liu Bu then charged forward with his halberd, and Dong Zhuo's army was badly defeated. Dong Zhuo retreated more than 30 miles. Amazed by Liu Bu's strength, he said, "If I could make him serve me, what would I have to fear in gaining the world?" Li Su, a Tiger Guard commander, said that he came from the same hometown as Liu Bu and was willing to persuade him to surrender. He suggested that Dong Zhuo give Liu Bu the red hair horse, along with gold and precious treasures, and said this would surely move him. Dong Zhuo followed Li Ru's advice, gave up red hair and the rich gifts, and sent Li Su to meet Liu Bu. Li Su came to Liu Bu's camp. First, he presented red hair as a gift. Then, over wine, he advised him that a man of his talent should not remain under Ding Yuan. Liu Bu already loved wealth and rank. When he heard that all these gifts came from Dong Zhuo, his heart began to waver.
Li Su then said, "A wise minister chooses the right master. Once the chance is gone, regret will come too late." Liu Bu then said, "What if I kill Ding Yuan and lead my army to serve Lord Dong?" Li Su was overjoyed and urged him to act quickly. That very night, Liu Bu entered Ding Yuan's tent with a blade in hand. Ding Yuan asked him what he wanted. Liu Bu shouted, "I am a real man. How could I be willing to remain your adopted son?" With that, he killed Ding Yuan with one stroke, carried his head out, and gave orders to the army. Anyone willing to follow him could stay, and anyone unwilling could leave. The next day, Liu Bu brought Ding Yuan's head and went to Dong Zhuo. Dong Zhuo was overjoyed. He personally bowed and said, "To gain you today is like receiving sweet rain after a long drought." Liu Bu also accepted Dong Zhuo as his adopted father. Dong Zhuo rewarded him with golden armor, fine robes, and high official rank. From then on, Dong Zhuo's power grew even stronger. After gaining Liu Bu, Dong Zhuo once again gathered all the officials.
At the banquet, he announced that he would depose the young emperor as the Prince of Hongnong and make the Prince of Chenliu the new ruler. He threatened them, saying, "Anyone who refuses will be executed." The officials were terrified and no one dared to speak. Only Yuan Shao stood up to oppose him. "The emperor has only recently taken the throne and has committed no fault. You are deposing the rightful heir and replacing him with another prince. This is rebellion." Dong Zhuo shouted angrily, "The affairs of the empire are decided by me. Who dares disobey? Look at my sword. Is it sharp or not?" Yuan Shao also drew his sword and answered, "Your sword may be sharp, but mine is not necessarily dull." The two men faced each other with drawn swords at the banquet, and the situation in Luyang moved completely out of control. At this point, we also need to introduce Lu Bu. Lu Bu is widely recognized as the strongest warrior in Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
There is a famous saying, "Among men, Lu Bu. Among horses, red hair." He was tall and powerful, skilled in riding and archery, and his weapon was a halberd called the Fang Qian Huaji. In single combat, almost no one could defeat him. However, his fatal weakness was his character. He was unstable, easily tempted by profit, and quick to betray loyalty. First, he accepted Ding Yuan as his adopted father. Later, to please Dong Zhuo, he killed Ding Yuan and then accepted Dong Zhuo as his new adopted father. After that, because of a maidservant named Dia Yaochen, and because others created a plan to divide them, he betrayed and personally killed his second adopted father, Dong Zhiwo. Although his personal fighting power was unmatched, he lacked long-term strategy and a stable foundation of trust. Because of this, he could never become a true ruler like Cao Cao or Liu Bei. Lu Bu can be seen as a tragic strongman who had the sharpest sword, but not a strong heart. For foreign listeners, you can think of him as a knight whose combat power is at the very top, but whose personality is like a mercenary from Game of Thrones who could break his oath at any moment, the strongest, but also the least reliable. After Dong Zhuo deposed the emperor and installed a new one, his power grew even more terrifying. Yuan Shao had openly opposed the removal of the emperor and was nearly killed by Dong Zhuo on the spot. Fortunately, Li Ru stopped him, saying that their larger plan was not yet fully secure, and this was not the time for unnecessary killing. Yuan Shao used the opportunity to flee the capital, left behind his official seal, and escaped to Ji province. Fearing that Yuan Shao might raise an army against him, Dong Zhuo asked Zhou Bai and Wu Qiong how he should handle the situation. They advised him that within 1 month, Dong Zhuo promoted Cai Yong 3 times. On the surface, he acted like a ruler who respected talent, but in reality, he had complete control over the government. The deposed Emperor Liu Bian, Empress Dowager He, and Consort Tang were placed under house arrest in Yong'an Palace. They lacked proper food and clothing and lived in misery. The young emperor spent his days in tears. One day, he saw swallows flying overhead and became emotional. He wrote a poem to express his sorrow and resentment. When Dong Zhuo heard about it, he believed the former emperor still held hatred in his heart. He ordered Li Ru to enter the palace with guards and force him to die. Li Ru ordered the young emperor to drink poisoned wine. Consort Tang begged to die in his place, and Empress Dowager He cursed Dong Zhuo for his crimes against heaven, but nothing changed their fate. Li Ru pushed Empress Dowager He from a tower to her death, ordered Consort Tang to be strangled, and finally poisoned the young emperor. Dong Zhuo only allowed them to be buried quickly outside the city. After that, he became even more lawless. He entered the palace at night, assaulted palace women, and even slept on the emperor's bed. Dong Zhuo's cruelty soon spread to ordinary people. One day, he led troops outside the city and came across citizens in Yangcheng holding a religious festival. He ordered his soldiers to surround them and slaughter everyone. Women were kidnapped, property was stolen, and human heads were hung beneath wagons. He later lied and claimed that he had defeated rebels. Wu Fu, a cavalry officer, saw Dong Zhuo's cruelty and decided to assassinate him. He hid armor and a dagger under his official robes and attacked Dong Zhuo during court. But Dong Zhuo was physically powerful and grabbed the blade with his bare hands. Liu Bu rushed in and captured Wu Fu. Dong Zhuo demanded to know who had sent him. Wu Fu shouted angrily, "You are not my ruler, and I am not your subject. How can this be called rebellion? Your crimes are so great that everyone wants you dead." Enraged, Dong Zhuo executed him. From that moment on, Dong Zhuo always traveled with heavily armed guards. After hearing about Dong Zhu's growing tyranny, Yuan Shao secretly wrote to Wang Yun, saying that he had already gathered troops and was willing to help eliminate Dong Zhu from outside the capital. Wang Yun received the letter but had no clear plan. He invited former officials to a banquet as an excuse to discuss the crisis.
After several rounds of drinks, Wang Yin suddenly covered his face and began to cry. He said Dong Zhuo had deceived the emperor, seized power, and was destroying the Han Dynasty. The officials joined him in tears. Only Cao Cao laughed loudly and said, "Even if all of you cry until morning, Dong Zhuo will still be alive." Wang Yin angrily asked Cao Cao why he was laughing. Cao Cao replied, "I laugh because none of you has a real plan to kill Dong Zhuo. If you are willing to lend me your 7-star sword, I will personally assassinate him. Even if I die, I will have no regrets." Wang Yin was deeply moved and handed the precious blade to Cao Cao. The next day, Cao Cao brought the sword to Dong Zhuo's residence. Dong Zhuo was resting in a private chamber while Lu Bu stood nearby. Dong Zhuo asked why Cao Cao had arrived late. Cao Cao casually replied that his horse was too weak and slow. Dong Zhuo then ordered Lu Bu to choose a fine horse from Ziliang and give it to Cao Cao. Once Lu Bu left, Cao Cao saw his chance. He quietly prepared to draw the sword and kill Dong Zhuo, but Dong Zhuo suddenly turned around and saw Cao Cao pulling out the blade through a mirror. He immediately asked what Cao Cao was doing. Thinking quickly, Cao Cao dropped to his knees and presented the sword, claiming that he had come to offer it as a gift. Dong Zhuo accepted it and admired how sharp and beautiful it was, so he did not react immediately. Cao Cao then asked to test the horse Dong Zhuo had given him. The moment he mounted it, he rode out of the mansion and fled toward the southeast. When Lu Bu returned, he found Cao Cao's behavior suspicious and believed he had originally intended to assassinate Dong Zhuo. Li Ru also advised Dong Zhuo to summon Cao Cao back as a test. If Cao Cao returned willingly, then he had truly come to present the sword.
If he refused to return, then he was clearly an assassin. Soon, messengers returned with news that Tiao Zhou had already ridden through the eastern gate and escaped. Furious, Dong Zhuo immediately ordered portraits of Tiao Zhou to be distributed across the empire. He offered a reward of 1,000 pieces of gold and the title of Marquis to anyone who captured him. Anyone who hid him would be punished as well. Cao Cao fled all the way toward Chiao Commandery. When he passed through Zhoumo County, he was captured by guards at the checkpoint and taken to the county magistrate. Cao Cao claimed that he was a merchant and that his surname was Huang Fu, but after studying him carefully, the magistrate recognized that he was Cao Cao. He had him thrown into prison and planned to send him to the capital the next day to claim the reward. But in the middle of the night, the magistrate secretly brought Cao Cao into the back courtyard and questioned him. "Dong Zhuo treated you well enough. Why would you throw your life away like this?" Cao Cao replied, "My family has received the Han court's favor for generations. If I do not think of repaying the country, how am I different from a beast? I only served under Dong Zhuo so I could find a chance to kill him. Now that I have failed, it is the will of heaven." The magistrate was moved by his ambition and asked what he planned to do next. Cao Cao said, "I will return to my homeland, issue a false imperial order, and call on the warlords of the realm to rise together against Dong Zhuo." After hearing this, the magistrate personally untied him, bowed before him and said, "You truly are a loyal man of the empire." This man was Chen Gong, courtesy name Gong Tai. He was willing to abandon his office and follow Cao Cao into exile. That very night, Cao Cao and Chen Gong left Zhongmu together. Several days later, they arrived at Chenggang. Cao Cao remembered that Lu Baoshe, an old sworn brother of his father, lived nearby, so he and Chenggang went there to ask for shelter. Lu Baoshe warmly welcomed the two men. He told Cao Cao that his father had already taken refuge in Chenliu. Then he said there was no good wine in the house, and that he would go to the western village to buy some, so he could properly entertain them. After Lu Baoshe left, Cao Cao suddenly heard the sound of sharpening knives in the back courtyard. Then he heard someone say, "How about tying him up and killing him?" Cao Cao was terrified. Thinking that the Lu family planned to murder him, he and Chen Gong drew their swords and rushed into the back of the house, killing all 8 members of the Lu family, young and old. But after the killing was over, they discovered a pig tied up in the kitchen. Only then did they realize that the family had been preparing to slaughter the pig to serve them dinner. Chen Gong cried out in shock, "Meng Day, your suspicion has killed innocent people." The 2 men hurriedly fled. They had not gone very far before Lu Baoshe returned with wine. Seeing them leaving, he called out and asked them to come back. Cao Cao first pretended to respond, but then suddenly turned, drew his sword, and killed Lu Baoshe. Chen Gong was horrified and demanded an explanation. What happened just now could still be called a terrible mistake, but now you know he was innocent. Why kill him too? Cao Cao answered, "When he returns home and sees his whole family dead, he will surely gather men to come after us. Then we will be finished." Chen Gong said, "To kill a man when you know he is not your enemy is a great injustice." Cao Cao coldly replied, "I would rather betray the world than let the world betray me." After hearing this, Chen Gong fell silent. That night, the 2 men stayed at an inn. After Cao Cao fell asleep,
Chen Gong remained awake for a long time, unable to calm his mind. He had believed Cao Cao was a loyal and righteous man, and that was why he had abandoned his office to follow him. He had never imagined Cao Cao could be so ruthless. Chen Gong thought to himself, if a man like this is not removed, he will surely become a great disaster in the future. Slowly, he placed his hand on the hilt of his sword and began to consider killing Cao Cao.
Chen Gong originally intended to kill Cao Cao, but at the final moment, he hesitated. He reminded himself that he had chosen to follow Cao Cao for the sake of the country, and killing him now did not feel right. So he quietly left during the night and went alone to Dong Commandery. When Cao Cao woke up and realized Chen Gong was gone, he understood that Chen Gong had seen his true nature because of what happened to Lu Baxi. Fearing further danger, Cao Cao did not dare stay any longer and rushed back to Chen Liu overnight. After meeting his father, Cao Cao explained how his assassination attempt against Dong Zhuo had failed and how he had escaped to this point. He then said he planned to sell the family property to raise an army. His father believed their wealth was not enough and recommended a respected local man named Wei Hong. Cao Cao invited Wei Hong to a banquet and said to him, "The Han court has no true authority now. Dong Zhuo controls everything, abuses the emperor, and harms the people. Everyone in the land wants him removed. I want to save the country, but my strength alone is not enough. If you are willing to help me, I will never forget it." Wei Hong had long wanted to serve the country, so he immediately agreed to provide financial support. Cao Cao then forged an imperial order and sent messengers across the land to spread his call to arms. He also posted recruitment notices in his hometown and raised a white banner that read, "Loyalty and Righteousness." Very quickly, men such as Yu Jin, Li Dian, Xiahou Dun, Xiahou Yuan, Cao Ren, and Cao Hong came to join him. Wei Hong also used his entire fortune to provide weapons and food supplies. Cao Cao then sent letters to warlords across the empire, calling on them to unite and destroy Dong Zhuo. Yuan Shao, Sun Jian, and many other regional lords responded and began marching toward Luyang. While leading his army, Gongsun Zan passed through Pingyuan County, where Liu Bei arrived with Guan Yu and Zhang Fei to greet him. When Gongsun Zan learned that Guan Yu and Zhang Fei were still serving only as low-ranking cavalry and infantry archers, he sighed that true heroes were being wasted. He asked Liu Bei if he was willing to join him in the campaign against Dong Zhuo. Liu Bei agreed. Zhang Fei angrily said, "If you had let me kill Dong Zhuo back then, none of this would be happening today." So Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei joined Gongsun Zan and headed toward the alliance. When all the warlords arrived, their military camps stretched for more than 200 miles. The alliance chose Yuan Shao as their leader. Yuan Shao stepped onto the ceremonial platform and swore an oath, calling on all the warlords to unite against Dong Zhuo and remain loyal to the cause. After that, he appointed Yuan Shu to manage military supplies and asked who would serve as the vanguard. Sun Jian, governor of Changsha, stepped forward and volunteered to lead the first attack. He marched directly towards Sishui Pass. When Dong Zhuo learned that the warlords had risen against him, he was deeply shocked. Lu Bu asked for permission to fight and declared that he would wipe out all the warlords outside the pass. At that moment, Hua Zhang stepped forward and said, "Why use an ox cleaver to kill a chicken? There is no need for the mighty Lu Bu to go personally. Taking the heads of these warlords will be as easy as reaching into a bag." Dong Zhuo was delighted and ordered Hua Zhang to lead the army into battle. Bao Xin, governor of Jibei, wanted to claim glory before Sun Jian could. He secretly sent his younger brother Bao Zhang to challenge Hua Zhang first, but Hua Zhang killed Bao Zhang with a single strike. His reputation rose immediately. Soon after, Sun Jian arrived with 4 generals, Chang Pu, Huang Gai, Han Dang, and Zhu Mao, and launched an attack on Sishui Pass. Chang Pu first killed Hua Zhang's deputy general Hu Zhen, and Sun Jian briefly pushed close to the gates of the pass. He sent news of victory to Yuan Shao and asked Yuan Shu to deliver food supplies. But someone whispered to Yuan Shu that if Sun Jian captured Luyang and defeated Dong Zhuo, he would become another dangerous tiger in the future. Yuan Shu believed the rumor and intentionally refused to send food. Without supplies, Sun Jian's army quickly fell into chaos. Seeing the opportunity, Hua Zhang launched a surprise night attack on Sun Jian's camp. Sun Jian suffered a crushing defeat and barely escaped with his life. During the retreat, Hua Xiong continued chasing Sun Jian. In order to save his lord, Zhu Mao took the red scarf from Sun Jian's head and wore it himself, drawing the enemy away. Sun Jian escaped because of this, but Zhu Mao was caught by Hua Xiong and was ultimately killed in battle.
Sun Jian gathered his defeated soldiers again and was filled with grief. He immediately sent someone to report the defeat to Yuan Shao. When Yuan Shao learned that Sun Jian had been defeated by Hua Shang, he gathered the warlords to discuss their next move. At that moment, scouts rushed in with news that Hua Shang was once again outside the camp, challenging them to battle. Yu Shi, a general under Yuan Shu, rode out to fight him, but he was killed by Hua Shang in less than 3 rounds. Then Han Fu sent his top general, Pan Feng, into battle, and he was also killed by Hua Shang. Fear spread through the alliance. Yuan Shao sighed and said, "If only Yan Liang and Wen Shu were here. If they were present, why would we fear Hua Shang?" At that moment, Guan Yu stepped forward and said, "I am willing to bring back Hua Shang's head and present it before this tent." When Yuan Shao learned that Guan Yu was only a horse archer under Liu Bei, he was clearly displeased. Yuan Shu became even angrier and argued that someone of such low rank had no right to fight. But Cao Cao stepped in and said, "This man looks extraordinary. Since he dares to volunteer, he must have real ability. Let him try." Guan Yu also said, "If I fail, you may cut off my head." Cao Cao ordered warm wine to be brought to encourage him before battle. Guan Yu simply said, "Leave the wine here, I'll be right back." Guan Yu mounted his horse with his blade in hand. Outside the tent, war drums thundered and battle cries shook the air. Before anyone could fully understand what was happening, Guan Yu had already returned to the command tent. He threw Hua Shang's head onto the ground. The cup of wine was still warm. Cao Cao was overjoyed.
After seeing Guan Yu kill Hua Zhang, Zhang Fei shouted, "My brother has already killed Hua Zhang. Why not take advantage of this moment and attack the pass? We should capture Dongzhu alive." Yuan Shu once again insulted them for their low status. Cao Cao argued that those who achieved great deeds should be rewarded and that birth status should not matter. To prevent the argument from growing worse, Gong Sun Zan took Liu Bei and his brothers back to their camp. Later, Cao Cao secretly sent them beef and wine as a gesture of respect. When news of Hua Zhang's death reached Dong Zhuo, Li Ru advised him to first kill Yuan Shao's uncle Yuan Wei, who was still in the capital, to prevent the Yuan family from attacking from both inside and outside. Dong Zhuo immediately ordered Li Ju and Guo Si to surround Yuan Wei's residence. They slaughtered the entire Yuan family and sent Yuan Wei's severed head to the front lines as a warning. After that, Dong Zhuo personally led an army of 200,000 soldiers. He ordered Li Ju and Guo Si to defend Sishui Pass, while he himself led Liu Bu, Li Ru, and others to guard Hulao Pass. When Yuan Shao learned that Dong Zhuo's main army had arrived at Hulao Pass, he gathered the warlords once again. Cao Cao suggested splitting their forces to meet the enemy. Yuan Shao then sent 8 warlords, including Wang Kuang, Qiao Mao, Bao Xin, Yuan Yi, Kong Rong, Zhang Yang, Tao Qian, and Gong Sun Zan, to march toward Hulao Pass. Wang Kuang arrived first, and Liu Bu rode out with 3,000 cavalry soldiers. Wang Kuang's general Fang Yu challenged him but was killed by Liu Bu in less than 5 rounds. Wang Kuang's army suffered a crushing defeat. Soon after, Mu Shun, a general under Zhang Yang, was also killed by Liu Bu with a single strike of his halberd. Then Kong Rong's general Wu Angguo had his wrist cut off by Liu Bu. For a moment, none of the warlords had anyone capable of stopping him. When Liu Bu came out once again to challenge the alliance, Gong Sun Zan personally entered the battlefield, but he was quickly defeated and forced to flee.
Riding his legendary red hare horse, Liu Bu chased after him and was just about to strike him down. Suddenly, Zhang Fei charged into the battlefield and shouted, "You servant of 3 fathers, do not run. Zhang Fei of Yan is here." Liu Bu abandoned his pursuit of Gong Sun Zan and turned to fight Zhang Fei instead. The 2 warriors battled for more than 50 rounds without a clear winner. Seeing this, Guan Yu rode forward with his blade and joined the fight. Soon after, Liu Bei also entered the battlefield with his twin swords. The 3 brothers surrounded Liu Bu and attacked him together. Liu Bu was incredibly powerful, but even he began struggling under the combined assault of all 3 brothers. Finally, he faked an attack, turned his horse around, and fled back toward Hulao Pass. Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei chased Liu Bu all the way to the gates of Hulao Pass. From a distance, Zhang Fei spotted a green royal umbrella on top of the fortress and became convinced that Dong Zhuo was there. He shouted, "What's the point of chasing Liu Bu? We should capture Dong Zhuo and end this at the root." And with that, the 3 brothers charged even closer toward Hulao Pass, pushing the war into even greater chaos. But when the story reaches this point, the real danger has only just begun. Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei have chased Liu Bu all the way to the gates of Hulao Pass. Dongzhuo is right there on the pass, and Lu Bu has already retreated inside. Can the three brothers take advantage of this moment and break through Hulao Pass? Can they truly push Dongzhuo into a desperate situation? And Dongzhuo still controls an army of 200,000 soldiers, with a fierce warrior like Lu Bu by his side. Will he simply sit there and wait for defeat? The alliance of the 18 warlords looks powerful from the outside, but can they truly work together with one heart? Or is the thing that will truly destroy this campaign against Dongzhuo not Dongzhuo himself, but the private calculations inside the alliance? More importantly, once Dongzhuo realizes that Lu Yong can no longer be held, will he make an even more insane decision? In the next episode, we will continue with what happens after Hulao Pass, Dongzhuo's retreat, the fate of Lu Yong, and why the alliance of the 18 warlords was doomed to struggle from the very beginning. Welcome to the world of romance of the Three Kingdoms. I'll see you in the next episode.
Sky in light, Nuwa healed the broken heart. Fuxi traced the world's design. Every age leaves stories bright. Yaya dynasty shaped bronze. Shang dynasty cast Qin dynasty forged the great walls. Han dynasty opened Silk Road winds. Three Kingdoms dynasty turned war to tales. Qin dynasty led ink and mountains bloom. Sui dynasty carved the Grand Canal. Dynasty raised learning flame. Yuan dynasty swept the northern plains. Ming dynasty strengthened walls again. Qing dynasty closed an ancient end. Every age leaves stories bright. History and myth ignite in endless light. China's history moves in mystery through the night. Footsteps of this land enchant the world in light. Kingdoms dynasty turn war to tales. Qin dynasty led ink and mountains bloom. Sui dynasty carved the Grand Canal. Tang dynasty crowned the world with art. Song dynasty raised learn.